Let's now also talk about the camera. There are a bunch of ways you can get to the camera. One is just, on your iPad screen, there's an icon for it, you can tap it, and there you go. Now I'm on the camera. Another way you can do that is by clicking the home button. There's your camera right there, tapping on it, there it is. A third way I can do that is, let's say that my iPad is on the lock screen. I can just drag over and there's my camera. It's a quick way of getting to it. But now that I've taken a photo, where do those photos go? So if you take a photo, let's say, well actually, let me show you some features first. So here's the camera. Sorry about the overhead light. This room is not ideal for filming, but there are many options. You can film a video. You can film a slow motion video. You can also film a time lapse. In addition to doing a photo that goes in a square and a panoramic image. So there's a lot of cool things you can do with this. Now where they go, hold on. So I'm gonna go back to my home screen, double click, swipe up. When you're done, you go to Photos, tap that, and then all of your photos and videos are saved there. This is already also organized where you can look at your recently deleted, look at things that are just screenshots, things like that. Okay, here's another thing you're gonna wanna be able to do. It is take a screenshot. What you're gonna do is hit the home button and the power button at the same time. And what it does is it creates a little screenshot in the bottom. If I tap on that, I can do all kinds of things. I can draw, I can crop it. And once I'm done editing it, I'll hit done, save to photos, and now it'll be in my camera roll. Another thing you're gonna wanna be able to do is to save a photo from the internet. So, what I'm gonna do, another thing you're gonna wanna be able to do is to save a photo from the internet. So let's hit the plus button. Let's search for an image. So I'm gonna search for sloths because they are my favorite animal. Let's go to images. And let's say I wanna save this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap the image, I'm gonna press and hold, and eventually this option to save image comes up. And now it is saved to my camera roll. All I have to do is go here. There's that picture of a sloth right here. Okay, so another thing you're gonna wanna be able to do is airdrop. So now that I have this amazing photo, I wanna send it somewhere. Again, anytime you wanna share something, that share box, that share-o is how you do it. So let's press it. And what you'll notice is up here is where the options of people you could airdrop it to are. Now, of course, you could do any of these. You could email it, you could text it. But airdropping is nice because it means if that person accepts it, it'll go right to their camera roll. No muss, no fuss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Sarah S, this is my laptop. And what I'm gonna show you actually is, in the corner of my laptop, I have the option to accept this airdrop, and I'll do it. All right, so that's how you airdrop and that's how you share things. Notice I could also set this as my wallpaper right here if I wanted to. I could make it a contacts photo, I could duplicate it, I could do all kinds of things. Another thing that you'll sometimes have the option to do, so I'm gonna look up a PDF of the story, The Lottery, which is something that we read in middle school. So here it is. But look at the bottom with PDFs, you have this option to open in. I'm gonna press that. And now I have different apps that I can open this in. You're gonna learn about these apps later, but let's say I press Notability for now. Notability is a note-taking app. It's sent there. I'm gonna close it with my 5 fingers, open Notability, and now that thing that I just wanted to open it in shows up. So I can create a new note, and there it is all there. So open in allows you to open PDFs and photos and things like that in different apps and places where you can manipulate them and use them for things. Okay,
Another really handy thing you're gonna wanna be able to do is to organize your apps. So I got all these apps, but I really have them on too many pages. You really want no more than 3, but 2 is better. What you can do is put them into folders. The way you do that, well, first let's start with how you create a folder. So you press and hold until all the apps are dancing like this. Then I'm gonna press and hold again, drag and move it over this other one, and now they're in a folder together, and I can title that folder whatever I want. Now I can also add things to a folder I already have by pressing and holding, dragging over, and popping it into that folder this way. Notice also here I can also delete apps off of my iPad if I don't use them, for example. So I already have an SIS icon. I'm going to go ahead and delete that one. Okay, another thing that's really useful to do is have this dock at the bottom. What the dock is these apps will always be on the bottom of your iPad. So even when I scroll, they're still down there. Even if I open this, if I press swipe up from the bottom, there's my dock. I can open another app. The way you get apps into your dock is the same way. Press and hold until they dance. Press and drag. Then you can drag it out. You can also drag it back in. So these are the apps that I use the most, which is why I have them in my dock. To get them to stop dancing, just hit the home button. And now they are done. The reason you're gonna want things in your dock is because it allows you to split your, it's also not only because the apps you use the most will show up, but it'll allow you to split your screen. So let's imagine I'm using notes. I create, hello, it is my pleasure that my name is Sarah. To announce that my name is Sarah is my note. And what I'm gonna do is I want to split this screen with another app because I wanna look at it while I'm using that app. So what I'll do, I'll swipe up from the bottom. There's Notability. I'm gonna drag Notability until it shows up like this, pop it over here, and now my screen is split. And I can drag this however I want to change the size of it on the screen. So this way you can be working on 2 apps at once. Okay, let's do some typing things now though. So here I am on Notability. On Notes, not Notability. And I've been typing, Sarah is indeed my name. One thing you can do is in the past, if you wanted to use a number or a symbol, you had to find it down here by moving around. Now what you can do is if I go to the letters and I want to use a number, there are numbers faintly above a lot of the letters. So what I'll do is, if I want the number 1, for example, for Q, I'll just press that key, drag it down until the 1 becomes big, and then I can place it in the document. I can also do that with different punctuation. So the period will show up when I tap this, but if I want a question mark, I just drag until the question mark becomes big, and now it's a question mark. One other quick thing I forgot to mention about this is accents. So if we have the letter E and I press down, here's E with all the different accents I could have for it too. Same with O, I press down, here's O with a umlaut with all these other different accents I could have, which is also a handy typing shortcut. Another thing that can be tricky is, let's say now I want to change what's going on. I can tap to place my cursor places, but sometimes it can be tricky to, let's say I want it in the middle of a word. I'm going to press and hold till this magnifying glass comes up, and now I can move it around with more detail. So again, that's press and hold. Now I can move it around with more detail. Okay, so those are some of the most basic of basics. Hopefully this is a helpful video. And again, always email if you have any questions, concerns, or comments. Thanks.